Welcome back to Spark Insights. Let's be real, if you rely on Social Security, you've probably worried about cuts. But what if I told you there's a plan that could actually increase your check by $2,400 a year? What if your Social Security check went up by $2,400 a year? What if Congress finally passed a law to not just protect your benefits, but to make them bigger for millions of seniors, disabled Americans, and families living on these checks? This isn't just about politics, it's about survival. Social Security is often the only safety net people have. It keeps the lights on, food on the table, and medicine in the cabinet. If nothing changes, benefits will be cut by nearly a quarter. That means the average retiree could lose $400 to $500 every single month. Imagine that. That's why Washington is under pressure to act, and 4 major proposals are on the table right now. Some would raise benefits, some would simply protect what we already have, and one is a bold experiment with investments. Let's start with the Social Security 2100 Act by John Larson. This bill would boost benefits for everyone by 2%, the first across-the-board increase in more than 50 years. It would also change the way cost of living adjustments are calculated by switching to CPI, a formula that better reflects how seniors actually spend money, especially on healthcare. For the lowest income retirees, it would raise the minimum benefit to 25% above the poverty line, which works out to about $500 more a month. Seniors who've been collecting for 15 years or more would get an extra 5% increase. The plan also restores student benefits for children up to age 26 and ends the long waiting period for disability benefits. But reforms cost money, and here's how Larson's plan would pay for it. Income above $400,000 would be subject to Social Security payroll taxes again, and there would be an additional tax on investment income for those in that same high-income bracket. This means only about 5 to 8% of Americans would be affected, but it would bring in billions to support the system. Then there's Senator Bernie Sanders' Social Security Expansion Act, which goes even further. Like Larson's bill, it would switch COLA calculations to CPIE and raise the minimum benefit to 25% above the poverty line. It would restore student benefits up to age 22 and combine the disability and old age trust funds for stability. To fund all of this, the tax threshold would be lower than Larson's, applying to all income above $250,000. This approach means broader contributions from high earners, but it extends the life of the program for 75 years and delivers a bigger, more direct increase to beneficiaries. Next is the Fair Share Act from Senators Whitehouse and Bowles. This one doesn't increase benefits, but focuses on protecting the system from insolvency. It lifts the tax cap on income above $400,000, makes sure all income is taxed fairly, and raises Medicare contributions from wealthy households by 1.2%. It also cracks down on loopholes used by hedge funds and private equity firms. The result? More funding for Social Security and Medicare, without cutting benefits. However, it doesn't promise a $2,400 increase like Sanders' plan. This is more about defense, keeping the system stable and avoiding cuts in 2032. And then there's a bipartisan idea, not yet a bill, from Republican Senator Bill Cassidy and Democrat Tim Kaine. Their approach is very different. Instead of raising taxes directly, they propose investing $1.5 trillion into stocks, bonds, and other assets over 5 years. The money would sit in escrow for 70 years, with the Treasury covering Social Security in the meantime and later being paid back by the investment fund. The hope is that returns historically 8 to 10% per year would grow the fund and support Social Security long term. But here's the risk. If markets underperform or crash, the money could disappear. Other countries have used this model with success, but in the US, it would be a bold gamble. So let's compare. Larson's 2100 Act is moderate. It raises benefits modestly and taxes only the highest incomes. Sanders' plan is more aggressive, $2,400 a year for everyone, with a lower tax threshold at $250,000. The Fair Share Act is defensive, no increase, but stronger funding. And the Cassidy-Can idea is experimental, betting on the markets to save the system. Here's the bottom line. If nothing changes, 2032 or 2033, everyone will see a 24% cut. This isn't a debate about numbers. It's about people's lives, dignity, and ability to survive in retirement. So, which plan makes the most sense to you? Should Social Security expand with a $2,400 increase? Or should we take a chance on investments? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to know where you stand. If this breakdown helped you, please hit the like button, subscribe to Spark Insights, and turn on the bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, take care, and remember, Social Security is not a handout. It's something you earned.